Section 17 of Shadowland, November 1919. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Martyrdom of the Pen. It is pleasant to be looked upon as a great writer, but it is usually more profitable to be almost anything else. The way of the transcriber is hard. That wicked old Dame Fortune seems to frown on the writers until after they are dead, and then she usually smiles sweetly and strews their graves with flowers. Just recall and see if this is not true. Beginning with Chaucer, did he not exchange a palace for a prison? And was not Spenser's banished to Ireland to die in poverty? Then there was Bacon, who sold his ermine to find favour with the eminent, and then was called to the bar of the House of Lords to be degraded and disgraced. Then there was that slovenly, intemperate, ungracious, but delightful parasite, good old Ben Jonson, who failed as an actor, and who called one day at a nobleman's door and was asked for his card. Stating that he had no card, he bounced in, and upon being asked who he was, blurted, "I am Ben Jonson." "Ben Jonson? You don't look as if you could say boo to a goose." "Boo," said Jonson. "Sit down," was the response. "You are Ben Jonson." The poor bard died as he had lived, in poverty. Hooker's fate was even worse, for he married a clownish Xantippe. Bishop Taylor was imprisoned. The author of Hudibras, Butler, who has delighted millions besides me, died in squalid lodgings without money enough to bury him. Dryden ended his industrious life in almost equal poverty. Clarendon, pure, moderate, and economical among extremists, died in exile. Milton had two misfortunes, both great. He married unfortunately and was stricken blind. Bunyan spent only about 12 years in prison, but then he was a bad boy, profligate and wicked. Swift, selfish, heartless, and unloving, yet of splendid talent, died as he had predicted, like a tree struck by lightning at the top, or like a poisoned rat in a hole. Poor gentle Addison had a double misfortune. He married unhappily and died in Champagne. Surly Dr. Johnson, awkward and ungainly, suffered with scrofula, was mad half his life, and died one of the lowest grubs in Grub Street. Sterne, a bad husband and a bad priest, neglected his mother and died in dissipation. Goldsmith, chased by bailiffs and fears, died in poverty, deserted by all but the poor charwoman to whom he had been kind. Defoe was a cripple, wrote 210 works, and then was imprisoned for writing in favour of freedom. Fielding, though of noble ancestry, led a dissipated, irregular life, and wrote starving in a garret. Smollett, poor and friendless, raw, bitter, uncouth, and ill-tempered, was several times fined and imprisoned, and died at 33. Chatterton, son of a grave-digger, but of marvellous talent, was poverty-stricken, and poisoned himself at 18. Timid Cooper, very poor, and tinged with madness, gave the immortal tasks to his publishers free. From literary England we could go to other countries, and see similar examples of literary misfortune, as for example to Italy, where Dante was exiled, or to Spain, where Cervantes was jailed. But let this suffice. Shakespeare was right. The world is but a stage. End of section 17. Read by Robert Connaughton, Brisbane, 25th September 2024.